should have saved that for the leftovers. You guys never saw it.
All right. We know that you're pretty old-fashioned. You use the magazines over the videos.
Pretty sure I'm the youngest here.
Sure.
You hide them under the bed too, Reeks?
You know it. I don't know why wife's saying that stuff.
Welcome to Just the Tip, a fantasy football podcast with your tippers, Matt, Disfatt-Bidge.
These are just our tips, so take them easy, take them hard. It's up to you.
Ryan, the Tagless Haynes.
Most bizarre Haynes brief that there's ever been.
And Matt, hi, or Regan.
Yeah, I hear you, and I definitely would take the shot on it because you'd be dumb not to.
Coming to you from the heart of New England. Get ready to take some tips.
And welcome in to Just the Tip, a fantasy football podcast. That music is way too loud.
No, it's not.
Welcome in, everybody. We are recording on Friday, July 8th, is it? I can't even remember what day of the week it is anymore.
Correct.
I woke up like 3 hours late to work today, so I'm all scrambled brain today, so don't mind me, everybody. But we are Just a Tip, a fantasy football podcast, giving you just our tips on everything fantasy football and movies and food related and life stuff. Regan, how has life been? You had a lot of life events this week. How you doing?
Baby's great. In case
Good.
you were wondering.
Good. Yes, that's part of it.
I had more life events.
Your wife's birthday?
Oh, that doesn't count. It's already over.
Harsh.
No, she had a great day. I made my first ever Facebook post about her. It felt weird. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing it. Never. She even said thank you. I was like, never expect it again.
No. It's like when you write your first birthday card to her and like the paragraphs get smaller and smaller as your relationship goes on. But a first Facebook post, that's a milestone. Yeah. Ryan, did you reach any milestones this week? Sorry, Regan.
You still get birthday cards?
Ugh.
Damn it.
Nope.
Yeah.
Actually, I do.
With $20 in it.
From your fiance. Here's your lunch money for the week.
Should buy sugar mama.
I mean, milestone. We had a pretty good big milestone ourselves. Oh, I get the music. Nice. We had a very big milestone this week, but I don't know if I should get into it now or just wait for a little bit later and just tease our audience here. But personally, no major milestones. Changing jobs on a little vacay right now. It's kind of nice.
Good for you, buddy.
I like it. Yeah, my weekend was good. Yeah, thanks for asking. 4th of July was great. A lot of fun this weekend. Had to watch fireworks from a distance with the dog. Kind of liked watching them, as long as it's not too loud. But great to see family and stuff. So it was good. And then speaking of Facebook, Regan, this popped up in my memories.
Uh-oh.
Look at these studs here.
Whoa.
Wow.
If you guys are not watching on YouTube, this is us during track 15 years ago. When our 15-year reunion.
Did you just come out of the Matrix?
Look at that. I know.
Look at shades.
I never took my sunglasses off. It was ridiculous.
That's why you're squinting so hard right now? Sorry.
No, it's just my eyes are fat. Yeah, the halo light is too bright, and it's too late for me to get up and turn it down. But yeah, look, we got Kyle there, Bobby there, Besner. Shout out to them.
Yeah, I need to look good.
Yeah, you look the same.
Yeah, I know.
Like you barely age. Jealous. But anyway, enough of that. We are going to get into our AFC North breakdown. Go around in the division, talk about a few players. But before we get to that, Ryan, there is a bit of news in your briefs. Let's break it down.
Sweet sassy molassie.
All right, let's keep it brief here.
All right, biggest piece of news this week. Just the tip is in the Scott Fish Bowl.
Oh.
The 12th Scott Fish Bowl. And for those of you that don't know, it is the largest fantasy football tournament in the world. Only a chosen few are selected. A few as in a couple thousand. But it is it's incredible. It really is. It's a pretty big deal to get invited to this stuff. Mac's going to be representing us. Draft starts next week. We're going to be pumping out logos and updates and all kinds of stuff for you guys. So this is going to be a pretty exciting time for the podcast. I'm pretty pumped about it, boys.
Bingo.
Yeah, we're in the league with guys from Dynasty Nerds, a guy from who ranks with them. I got to see who else is in there. But Ryan,
Snoop Dogg?
No, not Snoop Dogg.
That'd be awesome.
Ryan, were you in Scott Fish last year?
I was not in Scott Fish last year, no. I mean, there are people who have applied for 4 or 5. Yeah. I did, yeah. And there are people that have applied for 4 or 5, 6 straight years and have not gotten an invite. So there's an article on Trophy Smack that they just released about a month ago. And it really goes into how special it is and how much of an honor it is to get invited to this. And it's a charity tournament. Money goes a long way. And it's just really cool. There's celebrities, every major fantasy analyst in the game, including Matthew Berry, Field Yates from ESPN. Both of those guys are in it. It's the upper echelon of our community. So it's just a really neat experience.
Yeah, I was trying to delay to bring up the who's in the league. Yeah, we got a guy from IDP guys. We got a guy from ESPN. Keith Lipscomb. Yeah, I know.
Nice.
And, yeah, so it's only like 3 fans in there. The rest are analysts, so it's going to be stiff competition. But it's going to be fun. So we got our slow draft starting Monday. We got first overall pick. Basically a super flex. The point scoring's a little wacky. But yeah, we gotta meet together, guys, and figure out what our strategy is gonna be for the long run, how bye weeks are incorporated in and whatnot. So do it off.
I think we all know who our unanimous decision is gonna be. Jason Sanders. 100%. 101.
101? I was thinking Tua, but all right, fine.
Ugh. That sounds way worse.
I'd rather have Jason Sanders, honestly.
You pricks. All right. What else is in the news? I don't think that was really the headline of this week.
No, Baker Mayfield's traded to the Carolina Panthers for a 2024 5th-round pick. So the Panthers waited him out and didn't have to give up much. So first of all, I just want to get your guys a reaction on, what did you think about this whole situation in general? Baker brings the team to the playoffs in 2020. They win their first playoff game in God knows how long, battle some injuries in 2021, and then boom, tough acting to Acton.
You played it.
Tough acting to Acton.
I totally forgot the new drop too for Scott Fishbowl.
Say, Clyde, do you like fish sticks?
Perfect.
Anyway, yeah, what were they? 1-36 without Baker before Baker got there. Out of the dumps of the league, like nobody wanted to go there. That poor guy. Then he got hurt, played through injury, had crappy coaching. Has he ever had a consistent coaching staff? Now this is a whole new one that he's going to, where they're a run offense. So as long as Christian McCaffrey stays healthy, I don't know. Watch out, Baker. Might be a sneaky streaming option
if he gets the job.
It's an interesting. Yeah, he's getting the job.
It's an interesting
It's an interesting situation. And I mean, you just touched on it, Mac. Like he had a lot of barriers to kind of climb last year for sure. Odell didn't tear his ACL, but was coming back from a torn ACL from the previous season, right? Misses a ton of games. Kareem Hunt goes down after 5 or 6 games, and he was playing really well. They had a really tough schedule. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but their first 6 games last year was absolutely brutal. It was like Kansas City, Buffalo, Pittsburgh. I don't know the exact order, but it was tough. So I felt bad for the guy. You give him comes off a playoff appearance, you give him 1 year, he battles some injuries, some adversity, and then you want to just get rid of him. But Riggs, Mac just kind of touched on this. Do you think he's going to be fantasy relevant?
Definitely. But I think he'd be more of a streamline streamer per week. If you end up going that route, you're going to be able to get him late. So why not take the shot on him as your second QB, especially if you got somebody like Brady, Mahomes, somebody that you're going to have in there pretty much every single week. If your bye weeks work out, keep him. He might become a trade target, or he might just pan out and just kill it. You don't know. So I don't know. I'm excited about it. Definitely something I would like to take in a dynasty draft. I know a lot of those are already over with, but he's in a new spot now. You're probably getting him pretty low, and there's a high floor. So,
yeah, I think he's a very interesting super flex option. What do you think about that, Mac?
I was going to say another thing that kind of is going under the radar is he's not going to have so much of the bad weather games like they do in Cleveland too. So I'm sure his stats are going to go up.
You touched on that last year. Actually, the past couple of years, the weather sucks in Cleveland.
It's bad. You go a whole month straight where a lot of their players are not friendly for fantasy just because of the weather, and Cleveland sucks. So
Mac, my follow-up is, how does this affect the skill players? How does this affect DJ Moore, Christian McCaffrey, or even some of the other guys like Robbie Anderson and Terrace Marshall?
Terrace Marshall, I think it definitely boosts him up. Look for him to be a sneaky late dart throw. DJ Moore, I'm seeing people really boost up his ADP right now, their projections for him, but he's still wide receiver 18 on Fantasy Pros, so we'll see that will bump up. But are you going to take him over, let's say, Michael Pittman at number 15 now, just because of Baker Mayfield?
That's a good comparison.
I think I might. But he was 3 spots lower than Pittman, so I think he's going to boost up probably 3 spots. Nothing crazy, though. He's never been higher than a wide receiver 16 in PPR. Sorry. But Baker, he has supported 1,000-yard receivers with Odell and Landry as well. It's just those touchdowns that DJ Moore misses out on. So
Baker's a far superior option than Sam Darnold, a washed-up Cam Newton.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's a huge upgrade for this offense, and I don't know what the ceiling's going to look like for DJ Moore. I think we're going to find that out. I certainly consider him now over somebody like a Michael Pittman, but I do think people have wanted to be excited about DJ Moore so badly. He's a tremendous talent. He should be a wide receiver 1 every single season, and his quarterback play has been the biggest obstacle to that. So I think now that last year we got some of it with Sam Darnold, especially with how he came out of the gates. And then I don't know. It's hard to tell what's hype and what's real. So we'll find out in the next couple of months.
Potential's there, man. And you touched on Robbie Anderson. No, I will never draft Robbie Anderson again. He entertained retirement this year. So nope, done.
He also didn't want Baker to go there.
Yeah, there's something to clarify. He was trying to defend Sam Darnold and stuff. It's kind of a tricky situation when you're on a receiver. So,
oh yeah,
whatever. It'll be fun. We got to get our rankings done. All right. Anything else in the briefs there?
No, I thought that was pretty brief. What do you think?
That was all right. I'll have to edit some of that out.
That was a lot of news. The market's saturated.
I did not add that drop. Thank you. It was like I played it though with you saying it. Anybody in the hurt locker, Regan?
No, there actually nothing. Nothing came out today. Jameis Winston actually lost his knee brace, whatever that means.
Oh yeah, he shedded that. Good for him.
So, other than that, nothing.
Yeah, nothing. All right, cool. If you guys are listening to us on the audio platforms, can you rate us 5 stars and write a little review? Apple and Spotify would be much appreciated. You can listen to us on Google and Amazon podcasts as well. Download the episodes, share our tips with your friends and family, your league mates. You want to make them better, make the competition better. Listen to us. We're just some fantasy influencers, not experts. So take what we say with a grain of salt. And then you're watching us on YouTube. If you could subscribe and like the video, be much appreciated. And with that, boys, I say we get to the breakdown.
Perhaps play a little game called Just a Tip. Just for a second, just to see how it feels.
The AFC North breakdown. So we use PPR rankings, 6-point passing touchdowns, and usually use Fantasy Pros as our consensus ADP rankings. So when we're referencing that, that's where we're getting our stats from. Sound good? Cool.
Love it.
More Ravens, 8-9 in 2021. 4th in the AFC North, 8-9 in Baltimore. 4th. That is crazy. Look for that to change this year.
Oh yeah,
definitely. They boosted up that defense. So, and plus they got Mike Davis as their running back. So watch out. Ryan, does this mean that J.K. Dobbins, you love this guy? Is he going to be on the PUP list? What's going to happen?
It sounds like it's becoming more and more of a possibility. I haven't seen any updates on Gus Edwards. I don't know if you guys have seen anything on him. But
he's not as far behind as J.K. Dobbins on getting back. There's more, I don't know, nervousness with J.K.
Well, higher investment in him, yeah, for sure. So definitely going to want to make sure he's healthy before he gets back.
Absolutely, and it's becoming more and more of a reality that Mike Davis is going to be the starting week one running back for this team, which is
gross,
weird. Or Devontae Foreman, they didn't bring him back. Devontae Freeman.
They might, or Justin Jackson. How come he doesn't have a job? Where is he? Sign him, Baltimore. What are you doing? I don't think he got signed by the Chargers, right? Unless I missed that.
No, I'd have to go back and look that up.
Yeah, don't think so. Anyway, we'll get into since we're on J.K. Dobbins. Regan, you want to just talk about him?
Yeah, I'll tell you how much I hate him. That's pretty easy to do. RB23 guys right now ranked on Fantasy Pros, 49 overall, about round 5. I didn't buy him last year. Yes, I know he got hurt. He ended up not even playing. Sadly, most drafts are done, or a lot of them were, the time he was actually got injured and ruled out, which was pretty sad. So he definitely screwed over a lot of people. So yeah, he's 23 in PPR, and in 2020, he's now overcoming an ACL tear, and there was actually LCL damage with that, which a lot of people aren't bringing up. So that's a little bit more just to come back from. Like we were talking about, he's most likely going to start the year on the PUP list. So if you draft him, you're already going to have to wait on him. And then he's fighting Gus Edwards, Lamar Jackson, obviously. They just got Mike Davis. They have that rookie running back. I just had it up here. Was it by Josh? No, what was it? Tyler Badley. So they got another running back.
Yeah.
So there's just a plethora of obstacles for this young man. And I don't see him being definitely not worth, a 5th round pick's actually not too bad, but I'm not going to take the shot on it. If he falls a little bit more, I'm down to take it. And no, guys, his rookie year, he had 9 touchdowns on 134 carries. Not a lot of carries, a lot of fantasy output with those touchdowns. he only had 18 receptions. He does not get the catches. And that's a problem with this offense. Hopefully they change it up a little bit for his sake, but that's rough on a rookie season. Yes, he made the best of it with those touchdowns, but I don't see that happening again. So everything to me is pointing stay away from J.K. Dobbins. Do either of you disagree? Mac, you got a smirk. Do you disagree with me?
No, Ryan and I have discussed J.K. Dobbins ever since he came into the league. Great talent, but I don't trust it with the Baltimore offense. Too small of a pie with the running game, and Lamar Jackson taking it from him, and now he has to overcome these injuries. I'm all set. I'm passing on him, especially at that ADP. I'd much rather take the wide receivers in that round.
Agreed, Ryan?
I think the hardest thing is with this situation is that we're going off of a rookie season, where he was competing with Mark Ingram, who was still the solidified starter at that time. It took Dobbins a little bit of time to increase his snap percentage and his workload. Like, yes, he was getting some touchdowns early in the season, but over time, he was taking that job from Mark Ingram. And that is not abnormal for rookie running backs to start being more involved in the offense later in the season and then into year 2 and year 3. And the problem is that we haven't seen year 2 from J.K. Dobbins. So we don't know what this is going to look like. There are a lot of positives, like 9 touchdowns with limited rushing attempts. That's huge because this is a team that's going to be having plenty of goal line opportunities. So he could see that touchdown production again. I don't think he's a liability in the passing game. He has that talent. And if he plays the whole season, he's probably somewhere around that 30 to 35 reception mark, which is fine. But like you said, he's got a lot of competition. He's coming back from an injury. When he comes back, they're probably going to want to ease him into it. And we're probably not going to see full J.K. Dobbins at least until week 5, 6, 7. It's scary, but listen, it's not a don't draft J.K. Dobbins. It's a see how far J.K. Dobbins falls and then scoop him up. Because if he's fallen round 7, round 8, round 9, like as we get closer to the season, if he's going to start on the PUP list, you don't know how far he's going to drop. Mm-hmm. And at a certain point, he's a value.
It could be a league winner.
That's fine. Yeah, at that ADP. It's just I don't hate the guy. Like, I love his talent and everything. It's just the situation he's in.
It's the team.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's horrible.
Speaking of other guys on the team, we got Rashod Bateman. Beatty's time to shine now because Marquise Brown, if you guys were listening to us during our NFL draft event live here on YouTube, Just a Tip, a fantasy football podcast, we broke the news to you, or Regan did, that he was traded to Arizona. So, Baltimore, they ship out Marquise Brown to Arizona. They don't have any other wide receivers except for Rashod Bateman. Why would they do that?
He requested it.
He did request it, but they have faith in Mr. Bates here. He's going to fill that role that's voided, but what is that role exactly? Let's look at Marquise Brown's stats, because Bateman, he was okay, but he had to start off on the PUP list, right? Or he missed 6 games because of an abdomen surgery thing that he had. So Marquise Brown, he had his best season last year with 145 targets, 91 receptions, 1,000 yards, and 6 touchdowns. But if you actually watch the game, he was inches away from more touchdowns, especially against the Detroit Lions, just going right through his fingers to get a big touchdown there. So they just need to be on the same page. But when Bateman played 12 games last year, he had 8.5 points per game. He did show some real potential, though, including a 7 reception game, 103 yards. That was versus Cleveland. His ADP right now is at 91, the 38th wide receiver. But if you're going to take a number 1 wide receiver at that ADP on a team, I like Rashod Bateman there.
Yeah.
but is he going to get the volume, Regan, or is Mark Andrews going to hog it all up?
Exactly what I wanted to say was look for Mark Andrews to start the season off strong and be that number one guy, and Bateman will definitely start stealing from him as he gets more used to Lamar Jackson in game form. I don't think hasn't been the number one guy. He hasn't been relied on. I think it's going to take him a little bit of time. Your concept about, him, was it 91st ADP?
Yeah. Yep.
It's like 8th round, something like that, 8th, 9th round, or 7th, 8th.
Sure.
I am definitely down
7th.
for that as being my, grabbing a number one receiver with a high ceiling. It's really exciting to get so late. This exactly in the intro is like, why not take the shot on him? You'd be stupid not to. It's a great call right there.
All right, maybe. Let's look around though. Robert Woods at 101, or you can go rookie wide receivers, Drake London, 94, or Treylon Burks at 89. Or you can wait 6 weeks for DeAndre Hopkins, Ryan, at 97, which you talked about all the scenarios with him back in episode 17, the Danger Zone episode. Go check that out if you want more of a breakdown of DeAndre Hopkins. But are you taking any of those receivers over Bateman?
Nope.
I don't think I am. I'm pretty high on Bateman this year. And we talked about is Mark Andrews going to take some of the targets away from him? Well, Mark Andrews and Marquise Brown had plenty of targets together last year, 153 versus 145. So, and Marquise Brown had Rashod Bateman for the second half of the season competing with him. Rashod Bateman's competition is James Proche and Devin Duvernay. So
it's Mark Andrews.
Right.
That's why.
Yeah.
And the run game. That's it.
So I think Mark Andrews, one, has a really good shot of repeating as tight end one. And also, if you're getting Rashod Bateman at a wide receiver board value, I think that's fantastic because I think he's going to be a reliable flex play throughout the season at the very least.
Yeah, I think so. The rookie wide receivers, you might have to wait a while as well to see what shakes out with them, plus their quarterback play. We'll see. It's exciting stuff. All right, Ryan, who do you got?
Yeah, I'll go quick. I got Lamar Jackson here. I think it's pretty simple with Lamar Jackson. Ceiling is quarterback one. Dude averaged 28 points per game back in 2019. He was single-handedly winning people fantasy matchups all the way through the playoffs into the championship. I mean, you guys remember that run? He was putting up 53 points in the semifinals, 48 in the final. It was crazy. But here's the thing with Jackson. Every year, touchdown production goes down a little bit. Interceptions go up a little bit. Rushing yards stay about the same. And last year, even though he was battling a lot of injuries, or at least just one injury, he missed a lot of time. The rushing touchdowns weren't lining up to be there. He was only on pace for, I think, 3 rushing touchdowns as compared to, I think he had 6 or 7 the year before that, 7 the year before that. So if he's not scoring touchdowns on the ground, that's a problem. And if his touchdown production through the air continues to go down or stays where it was last year, then I'm not as high on Rashod Bateman and Mark Andrews as I'd like to be. But I don't think that's going to be the case. Word from camp is that Lamar Jackson is looking like he has been putting in some work in the offseason.
He's yoked.
He's yoked. So I think this is going to be a really good season for him. I can see him being closer to that quarterback one than, where he finished last year, which was, I think, I don't even know. He was hurt for most of the year.
Oh, yeah, never mind. That was 2020. You're right.
No, yeah, he was down, I think, closer into the 20s last year, and he was on pace to be fringe quarterback one. Quarterback, as in quarterback 12.
Okay.
Yeah, not the number one quarterback. So that's where I'm at with Lamar Jackson, is that ceiling super high, but his production has been a little concerning. I'm still waiting. ADP is 49. He's going around round 5. I still think there's better value later in the draft. I think Jalen Hurts, if you look at him, he's going to give you similar production to Lamar Jackson, and you can get him a couple rounds later. Stafford 78, Brady 85, Russell Wilson 73. All of those guys are fantasy top 7 fantasy quarterbacks, and you know they're probably going to be in that ballpark. So I think I'd rather go with one of those guys and wait, but that's always my strategy in general. Not a knock on Lamar Jackson.
Nah, he was quarterback 15 last year, but only 30 points out behind Ryan Tannehill to be a number 1 QB. So, did you mention that already? Sorry.
No, I didn't. And he missed 5 games. So that tells you how
games. Yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, he only played 12 games, and he could have easily made those 30 points up. Probably could have had 100 points.
Oh yeah.
So he would have been good for like QB 8 on the season. So. Yeah.
All right. Who do we got next?
Regan, you have anything on Lamar Jackson? You good?
No, honestly, the last thing was you just with that draft capital, you're just getting those extra boom games in general from Lamar Jackson, like you were saying. That's really all you're paying for, because like you said, grabbing Jalen Hurts, Stafford, stuff like that, you're gonna get just as good consistency, but you're not going to have the opportunity to have those boom games. So take it or leave it.
Not.
Very good point. Very, very good point.
Doesn't work with our strategy. All right. Cleveland Browns 8-9 last year, 3rd in the AFC North. So they got some rookies, David Bell, and then they got Deshaun Watson that they paid oodles of money to, and Jacoby Brissett, who's going to be their starter to start the season for sure. And then wide receiver Amari Cooper that they traded a 6th-round pick for, was it? Something like that. Regan, go ahead and talk about Amari Cooper.
You got him, my man. So this one sucks. It really does. So I just feel bad.
Please.
He's been in the league for quite a few years. He finished last year as wide receiver 27. He's ranked wide receiver 21 this year, and I'm guessing that's with Deshaun Watson as his QB, 52 overall, so another 5th rounder. And last year was his lowest amount in 4 years, reception-wise, with only 68 catches. So he's been going down a little bit. But right before that, the 3 years before that, he was still top-notch. So he's taking a hit going from a high-powered offense like Dallas going to Cleveland. That sucks. And then he's taking another hit with Watson, probably not playing minimum 6 games, if not a full year, and you're getting Jacoby Brissett. And then let me just break it down. Watson, he's created a wide receiver 4, an 8, a 10, a 16 in his short career. He's had stud wide receivers that have produced. There's no one else there other than Donovan People-Jones or something like that. Amari Cooper is, lo and behold, the number 1. You got Njoku maybe at tight end. That's fine. Jacoby Brissett has done nothing even comparable to a wide receiver 4, 8, 10, or 16. I don't even know if he has a 20. It's a big letdown. So you're really just banking on who's his QB. If Brissett is his QB, I don't see him doing better than like a wide receiver 25 on the season. And that's even given him a little bit of bump just because of his name. But if Deshaun Watson's his QB, they have him ranked at 21. I could picture him having like maybe not a top 10, but top 15 rank, I think is definitely, doable. There's no one else there. They have an amazing run game. And all they need is a nice little pass, a little duo where Amari Cooper can just get open because they're going to be worried about the run. So what they planned here for an offense, I think, was great. Get Amari Cooper, get a veteran, go get Watson, get a veteran. Too bad, Watson's an idiot. So it really sucks. And everyone is going to go into the draft until they tell us.
Please don't say sucks.
Apologies. Anyways, that's what I got on Amari Cooper. It depends on who his QB is. I think he could really do something here, though, if Watson's his QB.
Yeah, that's if, and I'm not taking the risk. Even if, say, Watson's out for 8 games, it's not worth it to me unless we get to double-digit rounds. Then I'll draft him. But before that,
I don't see him dropping.
I'm all set. You don't see him dropping if Watson's finalized 8-game suspension. Brissett's his quarterback for 8 games. He's got to drop down to at least round 8, right?
I don't think so. I think the fact that he might drop a little bit, Mac. I just don't think that much. I think that people are going to see him as the, lo and behold, only receiver there. He's going to get the work. And everyone knows him the past couple of years, so I just don't see him dropping as much as we might wish.
Those people obviously aren't listening to us.
Bingo.
You know what's going to happen with Amari Cooper? He's going to be the auto pick. That's ranked way too high.
Yes.
He's going to go to the guy who's not there.
Jackson.
And that's going to be him. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
God.
We all know that guy.
Love you, Jackson. Yeah. What do you got on him, Ryan?
Listen, you guys are spot on. I don't know how much I can add, but yeah, I'm avoiding him. Watson's not going to be starting at the beginning of the season. He's getting at least 8 games. He's probably getting a full season. And you had your chance to sell Cooper when Watson first got there, and it seemed like he was clear to play. That was your chance in dynasty leagues to sell Cooper. If you didn't take that chance, if you didn't see the writing on the wall, then you're going to be stuck for a year.
Yeah.
Should have ran away from that wide receiver position and go to the running back, the only guys that are worth any value in fantasy on this team. So Nick Chubb, he's solid. Draft him. ADP is at 17 right now. Don't get your hopes up high. You can love the guy like I do, but he isn't Derrick Henry. He isn't going to be a top 3 running back on the year. Chubb would need to be getting 300 plus attempts, 1,500 plus yards, and 16 plus touchdowns to be in the conversation for top 5, which is nearly impossible with Kareem Hunt, which Ryan will talk about. He snipes away his opportunities. So Chubb, he's a consistent low-end running back 1. Last 3 seasons, his average is running back 10 in PPR format, 7 in non-PPR. They don't have the easiest schedule either. So I don't know if you guys had looked at this, but yeah, especially in the division. It's always a tough division. So I'm not necessarily targeting him in drafts, but say I'm going wide receiver first and then Chubb's on the way back. And I'm like, all right, I'll take him in my second round. He's my running back 1. Then I'm going to grab ETN or Breece Hall in the 4th round. And those would be my running backs. So he definitely has more upside without the handyman, though, if he's out. But without their big offseason move, they'll need to get – wow, I butchered this joke. Forget it.
Handyman was funny.
Yeah, handyman worked, but yeah, Chubb, he's going to go right through those holes and into the end zone. So as a low-end running back 1, he's nice. Just nice. That's it.
Awesome.
My biggest fear with Nick Chubb is just he's a bit touchdown dependent, a bit, not completely, but I just don't know how many opportunities he's going to get in the red zone within the 10-yard line to punch it in. I have no idea how efficient this offense is going to be.
That's the problem. That's I lean to the running back that Ryan's going to talk about in a minute here. The fact that he has Brissett, I think Nick Chubb is probably going to get a boatload of work with a low average depth of run or whatever you want to call it. It's not going to be good.
I mean,
PFF Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to look up his opportunities in that green zone, red zone, goal line work. He also missed a few games last year too, so he always does. But pretty much every
the Browns have the second best ranked O-line according to Pro Football Focus. They could arguably have the best O-line in the league. The problem is if you put 7 in the box, it doesn't matter how great your O-line is. They can only block so many guys. So it's double up Amari, 7 in the box, and let the other guys beat you.
Joku is going to be a killer.
Might be. Because Mac, you said Gesicki did pretty well with Brissett in the past, right?
He throws to his tight ends. Wide receivers, he does not, but he does throw to his tight ends. Watson, on the other hand, we broke that down a few episodes ago. I forget. Right when Deshaun Watson got traded. So, yeah, he doesn't throw to the tight end. So you would prefer, if you have Njoku, and if you have Chubb, and you have Kareem Hunt, you'd prefer that Brissett would be playing.
Yeah, really good point. What do you have? Did you find the red zone stats there?
No, move on.
All right, I'm going to go into Kareem Hunt here. Like Max said, he is going to get some opportunity this year. He's running back 49 last year. He missed 9 games. He got off to a really hot start the first half of the season. His ADP this year, running back 33, 82 overall, which is pretty decent value for him. He averaged about 14 fantasy points per game. So that average was good enough for a running back 2, low end running back 2, which is exactly where Kareem Hunt's going to be if Nick Chubb stays healthy. If Nick Chubb doesn't stay healthy, we have seen what Kareem Hunt can be as the lead guy, which is a top 10 running back. And Nick Chubb, like Mac just said, he does tend to miss a few games. Every running back does. But if those few games turn into 6 or 7 games, you can get a running back 1 at, a running back 33 spot. So with Jacoby Brissett, he's going to check down. We just talked about that. He's going to check down to his tight ends. He's going to check down to his running backs. His whole MO is he doesn't make mistakes and he doesn't put up big stats. He is safe. He gets you down the field, generally gets you in the field goal range, gets you some points, move on and repeat. And it's a very safe approach. So that's why, like I said, I'm a little concerned about Nick Chubb. I'm less concerned in PPR formats about Kareem Hunt. I still think he's probably going to average 13 to 14 points per game and land in that low end running back 2 category if everybody stays healthy.
Just don't watch his stats in the first half. Just wait.
Oh, always. I love it. Kareem Hunt is the guy. Like when I go wide receiver heavy early, this is a great snag for my running back 2 with a huge ceiling, which is really nice. So to pair him with a decent running back, and then obviously have some backup guys, but not a bad grab right there.
Absolutely.
I like it. All right, the Pittsburgh Steelers, who were second in the division, 9-7-1. Ugh, will there be a tie again this year? I hope not.
Oh God.
So they had some additions. They drafted Kenny Pickett at QB. They got Mitchell Trubisky, little tiny hands, the smallest hands in the league. And then wide receiver George Pickens, who I'm really upset that I was not able to get in any of my rookie drafts. But anyway, I digress. Mitch Trubisky, ADP right now is at 210, QB 33. Look at that value right there. Perfect round 15 backup or just to keep on your watch list. He's currently the leader for the starting job, Regan. Did you hear about this? Pickett is on the 3rd team reps. So it's going to be Mitch Trubisky. He's a lock.
Gross.
Not much to talk about in stats, though. But he was not on the best offense either in Chicago. That's where you might know him from. He was QB 15 over 14 games played. I did not write the year down. 2018, I believe. He was a typical boomer bust. He had 34 points, 37 points, 42 points, and 55 and 6 points per passing touchdown. But then he'd have as little as 6 points. So he's a streamer option, QB3 in your super flex leagues. He does have the ability to run too, so that'll be nice with this offense instead of a statue in the backfield like the big beef that they had. And definitely don't look for over 600 passing attempts. like they had with Roethlisberger the past couple of years as well. So I do like the little bit of rushing ability. Definitely have to pick your spots with him. Might get lucky a couple times out of the week. But you guys going to be talking about the receivers. You prefer Mitch Trubisky, right?
Then my guy doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. All right. Not much to talk about Mitch Trubisky, right? Ryan?
No, but I will say the guy he's led his team to the playoffs at least twice and can win you some ball games. So
you can.
It's true.
I'll say that.
Streamer option. All right, Regan. You're
with a bad O-line.
With the bad offense was terrible. So,
yep.
What do you have? Allen Robinson and Trey Burton 1 year. So, good for him. Diontae Johnson, Regan.
Yeah, so you said he's probably going to have 600 passing attempts. This guy might have about 500 targets.
No. He won't have that. He won't have 600. He'll probably have 400 passing attempts.
All right, he's going to get 350. I don't know. He's going to get a lot, Mac. Jeez.
Okay. Really? Because, side note, they're not going to sign him. They're saying they're not going to sign him to a big deal. So,
but it is a contract year, Mac. You love that. He needs to produce.
I do.
The problem is he has either a rookie QB or Trubisky too. That's gross.
It's kind of gross, yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, so if Big Ben was still there, I honestly could see him as, almost a top 5 wide receiver in the league. He finished last year wide receiver 8, 107 receptions, over 1,000 yards, 8 touchdowns. He's improved every single year he's been in the league. And his only competition right now is Chase Claypool and Pat Freiermuth and a couple of rookies that are probably going to start off slow anyways. It sucks that Big Ben's not there for this guy's sake, because I just wish I want him to get that big contract because he deserves it. Most likely he is going to be the number one target for either one of these QBs. That's my prediction. That's why I don't think it really matters. These guys are going to look for the guy that has smooth routes and knows what he's doing, and they're going to lean on him. I think he's going to get peppered with targets, but I don't think they're going to be deep routes. That's just what happens with these quarterbacks. They don't throw deep balls. They don't take chances, so they will throw short. So I'm not, touchdowns might be lacking, but the receptions I think are going to skyrocket, probably over 100 if you ask me. His ADP at 30. So that's wide receiver 14, I think is a pretty good spot for him. If he can drop a little bit, though, I will be way more excited about taking him. Maybe the news of Mitch Trubisky being the quarterback might make him drop around. And that's when I would really snag him, round 3, 4, late 3, early 4. I'd be pumped. Grabbing a number 1 wide receiver that I know is going to get work.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he will drop around. You're going to have DJ Moore bump up. You're going to have other guys get hyped up, especially with Detroit and their Hard Knocks season. Those guys are going to get a boost up. So I can see him dropping around.
I was just about to say I would feel more comfortable drafting him around 40 and more as like a wide receiver 18, 19, 20, like mid to lower end wide receiver 2 with that upside to get back to wide receiver 1. Like that's where I think his best value is. So if what you're saying is true, Mac, and he drops around all day, I'm taking Diontae Johnson.
Yeah. It's still a bit early, 62 days away from kickoff. So plenty of time for him to drop.
I like it. I got
him in dynasty. There you go. Speaking of dropping, Ryan.
Oh, man, I don't want to talk about this guy. ADP. Oh, this is Chase Claypool. God, let me just rush through this. ADP, wide receiver 42, 106 overall right now. He was wide receiver 37 in 2021. He finished below a couple of guys here. Kendrick Bourne, Brandon Ayuk, Marvin Jones, Van Jefferson. Let me tell you where those guys rank right now. Kendrick Bourne, 208. Ayuk 100, Marvin Jones 201, Van Jefferson 176. Those are the guys that he is kind of affiliated with right now. So I would probably wait and pick one of those guys instead. Better value there. And I mean, look,
I have it on good authority that he's a top 3 wide receiver, though.
I've read that.
You're reliable source, right? Coming directly from the source.
Mm-hmm.
But right now he's around guys like Christian Kirk, Chris Olave, Mike Gesicki, Kadarius Toney, James Cook, Kirk Cousins. I'm taking any of those guys over Chase Claypool right now. I don't think they're gonna be passing the ball a lot. Like Mac is saying, they're gonna certainly cut that down. Chase Claypool on his own team. I mean, George Pickens could surpass this guy, and this is why Mike Tomlin is kind of a hard-nosed coach. He doesn't take bullshit, and Chase Claypool just is a bullshitter. George Pickens is a guy who is like known for 120% all the time, full motor. Like he could easily jump Chase Claypool in this offense to be that number 2. And then Freiermuth definitely is going to jump Chase Claypool. Like this guy could find himself being 4th on the team in targets by the end of the season. I would much rather have these other guys around him. I think he's got a pretty good ceiling. Like his ceiling's probably like somewhere around like wide receiver 30, 31, but it's risky. And I don't want anything to do with that.
Me neither.
Yeah, Pickens is definitely a sneaky rookie pick to take late. I like him a lot, especially the way Pittsburgh develops their wide receivers. But yeah, I think you're right. They're giving up on Chase Claypool just because of his prima donna attitude. So I'm all out on him. I don't care how far he drops.
Good.
Okay, good. We concur.
Oh yeah, we do. Let's touch on that one.
Cincinnati Bengals 10-7. The first place losers of the Super Bowl. Oh, that's not nice, Ryan. Why would you write that? First in the AFC North. Key additions. The O-line got better. That's about it. Oh, Hayden Hurst, tight end. Good for them. But this guy, sneaky guy, Joe Mixon, Regan, what do you got on him?
Ooh. Finished last year as the RB4 on the season in PPR. I'm really high on him this year. He's being ranked at RB7 right now. ADP is around 9 to 11. So late first round. He managed his RB4 placement too last year, with not getting as much work as you would expect on third downs and stuff like that. He hasn't been a complete back. And the problem with that is just his pass blocking. That's the word out there. That being said, the fact that he finished an RB4 with not getting as much work, probably going to continue about the same going into next season, but having a better line, like you mentioned, obviously helps. This makes me feel a little bit better about him because, take a little bit of work off him. He hasn't been in the league that long. I think he's only 25 years old, but he's definitely got quite a few reps. So with that being said, I could definitely see him finishing in the top 5 as an RB easily. And I am absolutely down to take him on a high-powered offense I feel like they're just, getting into their niche on what kind of offense they really are. They're in a great division. The whole AFC is great. So they are going to have to score no matter what. RB is going to come in to play big. I'm fine with taking him first round. No problem. Obviously after, most wide receivers go, because that's what I do.
Of course. Yeah, I like Joe Mixon. He's one of the last workhorse running backs because there's not much competition around him.
Samaje.
So, yeah, and he might not even make the team. So we'll see how this works out. But yeah, first round, I don't know. I like him in the second round. He's gonna be a top. He's gonna be a top 12. Excuse me, running back 1 for sure. But like you said, I'd rather get the stud wide receiver and see if I can get him on the way back. But I don't know, Joe Mixon, Ryan. What are your thoughts on him?
Yeah, I've always kind of felt the same way about Mixon, to be honest with you. And just thinking about it for this season, same strategy. Like I'm probably going to take a top tier wide receiver guy I know is going to be a top 3 receiver. And then if I'm picking 8th, 9th, 10th, I'm hoping that Joe Mixon comes back to me, 2-2, somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. And then you got a pretty good setup right there. So yeah, I love Joe Mixon. I think year in and year out, he's kind of doubted. And I think he's in his best situation he's ever been in this year. Mm-hmm. And we saw what he did last year. So that's all I have to say about him.
It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
He gets work. He's out there. Mm-hmm. Why not? On one of the best offenses in the league.
That is true. I think they're going to be passing a lot more. So I'll talk about my guy that it might help him out more. So get the defenders back and open up those draw plays for him. So I like it. T. Higgins, though, ADP is 32, wide receiver 12. A bit too high for my projections, though. It's a tough division. Their schedule, they got some tough stretches, especially in the fantasy playoffs. If you want to look that far ahead, I wouldn't advise it, but I did with all my hours and hours of research for you people out there, you takers. All right. One of my bold predictions earlier was that the Bengals won't make the playoffs earlier, like episodes ago, because of their Super Bowl hangover. Just a feeling. Plus having a stud in Jamar Chase to compete with, who is ranked at wide receiver 4, 9th overall. So some people, I see them talking, so I had to do a little bit of research here. It's like, when was the last time a team had 2 top 12 wide receivers? It's like, it doesn't happen often, right? You would think that. But 4 out of the last 6 seasons, there actually have been. We got Michael Thomas and Brandon Cooks with New Orleans in 2016. Diggs and Thielen in Minnesota in 2018. Metcalf and Lockett, who were like 5 and 7 wide receivers in Seattle in 2020. Then Mike Williams and Keenan Allen in 2021. So it does happen often. But is it going to be this duo? You still got duos of, let's say, Adams and Renfro. Can Renfro sneak into that top 12? Probably not. But you got Tyreek Hill and Waddle. Waddle just missed the top 12 last year.
Guy.
Come on. Something to think about. And then you got Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. Okay, maybe not Gabe Davis. Or Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, and Gann. They were wide receivers 5 and 7 until week 13 when Thielen got hurt. Anyway, long way to tell you that Higgins, he scores 15.
One. Devontae Parker and Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah. Suck it, Mac.
Absolutely. With their 250 passing attempts. Anyway, Higgins, the number 2 wide receiver on the team, he scores 15.6 points per game behind Jamar Chase's 17.8. And he's a wide receiver in the 3rd round. I'm kind of looking for the number 1 at first, or I'm going running back in that 3rd round. But the number 2, I might be fading him and then taking a wide receiver like McLaurin at 45, DJ Moore now at 48, or Michael Pittman, who we discussed in last week's breakdown, at 47 instead of T. Higgins. Guys, am I crazy to be thinking this, that he's not going to be a top 12 wide receiver?
I think it's good placement. I think he's right on the cusp. I think he was way more, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I know for sure that he was way more consistent compared to Jamar Chase last year. Jamar Chase just had some crazy blowout games. Teams can get on that. That happens to a lot of rookies the second year.
I meant to add that in my notes. A lot of people comparing when they were on the field that T. Higgins was targeted more, blah, blah, blah. Jamar Chase is the guy. That's Joe Burrow's boy. He's going to be throwing to him more. And you had T. Higgins miss a bunch of games last year too. So they had to get him his targets to meet incentive contract, incentives in his contract. So take that into account. Don't just look at the stats.
Did not know that. Good to know. I still do like T. Higgins. Go ahead, Ryan.
I was going to say, if you look at T. Higgins and you're at the draft and you're counting the receivers that have been taken, if you're getting T. Higgins outside of, say, the top 15 wide receivers, which is going to take a little bit of a drop, but if you're getting him at wide receiver 16, 17, 18, that is great value. That's where you want to kind of target T. Higgins. You could pick him around 12, 13, 14. It's just you might not get the best bang for your buck. And the chances are you're not going to.
So yeah, he was wide receiver 24 last year, Regan. 14 games played.
So, Mackie, this is going to be tough for us to do this too. He's right. So, A.J. Brown, T. Higgins, Diontae Johnson, and Pittman all in a row. That is rough.
You forgot Jalen Waddle, did you? Did you say Jalen Waddle?
Jalen Waddle is 34th ADP, so he's back a couple. But yeah, he's still right there. Right. He's 3 picks, 4 picks back.
Mm-hmm.
So that spot right there is real hairy. I
was in standard scoring for some reason. My bad.
Smooth move, XLX.
Mm-hmm. What, do you host a podcast or something? You idiot.
Idiot.
All right. Anyway, we can move on from T. Higgins. Let's get to a more exciting player, Ryan.
Yeah, I'll try to make this as quick as possible. I'm going to talk a little bit about Hayden Hurst and his fantasy outlook for this upcoming season. The guy's had one true opportunity as a tight end one for a team. He finished as a top 10 tight end in 2020 with the Falcons. He had 56 catches, 570 yards, 6 touchdowns. And then last year, they take Kyle Pitts, 6 overall, and it squashed any hope of Hayden Hurst doing anything last year. So he finds himself now in a situation where he is going to be the top tight end for his team. I don't think Drew Sample is going to top him. And it's a fantastic offense. It's a much better offense than where he was at. The problem is there's so much competition for targets.
Mm-hmm.
We've already talked about it. When you start talking about Tyler Boyd, you take away the targets that Joe Mixon's going to have, Samaje Perine, Drew Sample, like those guys will get their fair share of targets as well. I think Hayden Hurst is just going to be a guy who just resembles what CJ Uzomah did last year, which was finishing as tight end 19. You could stream him here and there. You want to look at the matchups when you're doing that. And he's going to give you 40 receptions, 400 yards, like 5 or 6 tight ends. And you just hope that, the week that you play him, he scores a touchdown. But he's going to be on the field. He's going to have high snap percentage. And I think he's fantasy viable this year. I certainly don't think he's getting back to the top 10. Reegs, what do you think? How do you feel about Hayden Hurst this year?
I feel horrible, honestly. No, we've mentioned a couple of guys like Njoku, Hurst. These are the type of guys you take later on in your draft as a backup tight end, spot start. Maybe, look at the defense, how they are against tight ends. Maybe they have a decent play, but by no means will this be my tight end one on my team ever. And I am down, like you said, though. I'm down to take a late shot on him. The sad part is, when we're drafting him and the backup tight end's usually the first thing you drop after you week one and somebody hot comes up and you're like, I got to get that guy. So it's tough to say, but I'm down to take a shot on him and maybe drop him. I don't know. It's tough. Tight ends are the hardest position in fantasy. We always say the top 8 is the best. This guy has never even seen it. What's to say that he can do it now, years later on in his career?
Mm-hmm.
Tough.
Well, just barely saw it, right? Yeah. No, it's not going to be the vocal point of the offense. When you're drafting a tight end, you want to get the guy that's going to be utilized in that offense. If you're competing with those wide receivers and that running back, it's not going to be him. Maybe a couple weeks where you can stream him, some DFS lineups.
Red zone.
Okay. Against the right matchup. Yeah, that's about it.
Simple enough.
And that's all I have to say about that.
2 minutes of Hayden Hurst should be enough for the whole season.
I think that's plenty. I don't know, guys. I think we got the holiday hangover. We're a bit rusty tonight, but good thing nobody's listening after an hour. So we're good.
Oh.
But
I studied.
We did well. If you made it this far in the episode, we appreciate it. Go ahead and subscribe to our channel wherever you're listening. Rate and review would be much appreciated. Leftovers, guys. Do you guys?
Whoa! Rank these.
I'm sorry,
bro.
You. See, like I said, I'm rusty.
Sandbagging
Recording on a Friday night. I'm not used to it.
This is weird. I like it, but I don't.
I could get used to it. Not like I go out clubbing or anything.
You don't?
So rank the division. I'm going Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati by a hair, half a game. They'll tie somewhere. And then Cleveland to finish it off. So Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Cleveland.
Wow.
All right. I got Cincinnati keeping it up. I got Baltimore getting back into it. This is where it gets a little tricky. Cleveland and Pittsburgh. I just feel like if Watson comes in second half of the year, they might have a little bit better record than Pittsburgh. So I'm taking Cleveland over Pittsburgh right now. So Cincinnati, Baltimore, Cleveland, Pittsburgh. Got the rookie coming in there. Trubisky comes in, doesn't do well. Pickett comes in for the second half. He does well, but doesn't win games like every other rookie. So on.
Poor guy. Ryan, how about you?
I got Baltimore, Cincy, Pittsburgh, and then Cleveland. I think Pittsburgh's lost too many pieces on defense. I think their O-line is absolute trash. And prayers for Trubisky or Kenny Pickett, whoever gets that starting job, because they're going to be running for their lives.
Oh, yeah.
I think that actually helps them. I don't know.
Fantasy-wise.
Yeah. No, I think it will help Pittsburgh, actually, I'm saying. Help that offensive line look a little bit better. They don't have to hold their blocks as long. All right. Leftovers. So now, Regan, leftovers? What would you like to open up?
What? I ain't opening up anything.
Leftovers. Open them up. You got something? No?
Oh, yeah. My Tupperware container. I had something at the beginning of this, and I can't remember it now. It's horrible.
The magazines.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. Open them up. What do we got?
All right, boys.
If you're listening to us on audio, Regan is holding up some Hustler magazines. Is that what those are? What are we doing here?
That say fantasy football. Awesome.
Oh, wrong fantasy. My bad.
Little booby, little football. It's amazing. It's a good combo. We should invent that. Too bad.
I was going to say.
It's the only way magazines are coming back.
Oh, yeah, guys. I would. So I used to always get them at the grocery store. They got rid of their magazine section. Went to Walgreens, CVS, right across the street from the grocery store. They got rid of their magazines. Well, Walgreens had a couple, but that was all HDTV stuff. And I finally found one at another CVS today, guys. I was so happy. It was so funny. I'm just that guy that just likes to get to the draft and have a little something in his hand, something I can reference, something I can look at, literally just to get the names in my head again. Mm-hmm. That's really all it is. You know how I am with remembering stuff.
No, I don't remember. I have a terrible memory.
Oh, crap.
I've never been a magazine guy, but I read a lot and listen to a lot. So information overload. Ryan, you got anything?
I don't think so this week. We got fresh out.
Cool.
Red Sox are on a little bit of a slump, which is a little depressing, but you know what it is.
Beginning. You're not telling us?
Huh? Big news?
Ryan
said he had news. Never mind.
I already said it. The Scott Fishbowl.
No.
We got it covered. We got it covered.
Your own news.
RotoWire has 2 sales this year.
Oh, good for you.
2
and
sales.
They're both in Regan's basement. Yeah, magazines.
Nice.
So RotoWire
gotcha.
Actually.
I like it. Nope.
What do you
Matt,
got?
You got anything quick? Nope. Yep. We're running out of time. You got about 12 seconds. Go.
Terminal List on Amazon Prime. #1 show on Amazon Prime. Check it out. Cool books too. If you're into that Tom Clancy type novel stuff, Jack Carr writes them.
Do you read?
Occasionally. Great show. Chris Pratt, Navy SEAL. Pretty cool.
I like Chris Pratt.
He's pretty awesome. Pretty violent show. I like it. Good night.